Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. This is Khurram Zahir Chishti. I am a certified NLP coach, and today the book, one of the bestsellers, number one bestsellers on productivity, efficiency, effectiveness. It's called The One Thing. The One Thing, and by it is written by Gary Keller, who is a from a scratch he made his real estate brokerage selling company to the best number one company of real estate in US. And second is Papasan is basically heads the editorial section of his publishing company of Gay Keller, and both of them have written the book The One Thing. Now let's explore further what this book is all about. This is the book. If for those of you who want to purchase it, you can look for it in Amazon. It's, I think, one of the best, highly recommended books for any working professional. So, what is the concept of the one thing? First of all, to begin with, just ask yourself, what is that one thing that I can do in my work, in my professional life, spiritual life, relationship, whatever, that if by doing that it creates a domino effect and majority of the things fall into place. As I said, I am an NLP coach. I come across various clients having various issues. As they start their day, they are into a rush, and that rush carries on to some arguments with their children or their spouses, and that go on to quarreling with your colleagues, and the day begins. But sometimes just getting up half an hour early or an hour early sorts out majority of the issues. Hence, it is not the that you can say your life is a mess or your work life is a mess or relationships are a mess. You just have to identify what is that one thing which if done will create the domino effect, that once you do that, the rest of the things will fall into place. So hence, as the author says, this is not just a productivity book, it's a manifesto for focus in a world of endless distractions. Gary Keller, I've introduced him, and then this book leads to say that going small, which means focusing on the small things, is actually the key to many big things. Let's proceed further. So the core principle, as I said, is focusing on what is that one thing which, if done correctly or if done on time, would make all the majority of the other things unnecessary. Probably you say that at workplace you have issues in not getting your work done, or in having whatever it, probably the answer could just lie in you having a positive and a friendly relationship with your colleagues. Of course, how you can do that, you don't build that in a day, it's a process. You hang out with them, you hang out with them for lunches, for dinners, and see how make friends with them, so that sorts out majority of the matters. So ask yourself, what is that one thing that you can do this week or coming weeks or whenever, such that by doing it everything else would be easier or unnecessary. For students, it could be just be that instead of focusing, just getting their to get their life in order, why don't you just give at least 3 to 4 hours of study per day, so rest of the things could fall into place. Because majority of the schedules are not organized, they go follow a haphazard rule, and that's what happens. Let's delve in further. First of all, the practical takeaways that you can use from this book and take to your daily life. The author talks about fail your way to success. Fail your way to success, in which he highlights some lies that we have always believed in and believe the truth, but he does not agree with them. So let's see what those 6 lies are. First of all, everything matters equally. In our life, if we don't prioritize things, okay, what is our priority? Okay, priority is family, finances, job. In the job, what is the priority? We should identify stakeholders, what job, what tasks are critical, what we can delegate, postpone. So everything does not matter equally. Achievers always work from a clear sense of priority. To-do lists are long, but success lists are short. Hence, it also expressed in other ways, 80-20 rule. So majority of what you do comes from minority of what you want. So hence the author gives the concept of go small by finding out the vital few elements, as they say, what move the needle. Second is multitasking. This author, Gray Keller, is not very much favor of this concept of multitasking, which he defines as task switching, as a result of which we are doing a task, we attend to another task, and to come back to the original task, at least he says it takes 20 minutes of our focus to come back to it. Number three, one of the other lies is a disciplined life. Now, as the author says, the truth is that we don't need any more discipline that we already have. We need to direct and manage it a little bit better. Just because we have not identified our priorities, we work on everything equally, and hence that whatever the discipline that we have gets spread around to things which are not required, and as a result, you don't end up doing the necessary tasks. The word discipline and habits are intertwined. If you have developed your habits to get up at a particular time, to do particular go to gym, to do attend time block your schedule for a particular task, you have developed those habits, then discipline, and you yourself get disciplined, i.e., if you have built your habits in such a way that your tasks are already in a scheduled in a particular day, be it your personal task, professional task, your medical task, whatever task that you are assigned to, whatever task you want to do, you want to go for a walk at night, you in the morning want to go to gym, then from 9 to 5 you want to allocate to your office time, fine. But you build those habits, and as a result of which your life becomes more disciplined. As the author says, the hard stuff becomes habit, and the habit makes the hard stuff easy. I'll repeat, the hard stuff becomes habit, and habit makes the hard stuff easy. As per the author, results suggest that it takes 66 days to acquire a new habit, around 2 months. Build one habit at a time. Success is sequential and not simultaneous. No one actually has a discipline to acquire, you just have to develop the habits. Then, as per the author, willpower, like a muscle, is finite, and using it for one task reduces it for the other task. And hence, so instead of always relying on willpower, develop your habits in such a way that you don't need to use much willpower, but your habits are sufficient enough for you to make you successful. As per the author, willpower has a limited battery but can be recharged with some downtime. It's limited but renewable. The more we use the willpower, the less willpower we have for the other task during a particular day, and hence let's work on our habits to make ourselves disciplined. Then the author, let's go on the let's focus on the task of that, and failure is very important because it teaches you what not to do next time. If you have learned your lesson from failure, then there is no better friend than failure, a failure that you have, because it teaches you and what to do and what not to do. We often overthink, overplan, overanalyze our careers, our businesses, and our lives, but we actually succeed in spite of most of what we do not do, because we cannot manage time. And the key to success is not all the things we do, but in all the handful of the things we do well. I will repeat, key to success is not all the things that you do are you successful with, but as per the author, but in a handful of things that we do well. Secret of getting ahead is getting started, and to get started, you just break complex tasks into simple manageable action items. That what brings us to the handful of important tasks. So the problem is that instead of just thinking of the whole mountain to climb, think of the next step that you have to take. Instead of the whole project, just think about what is the some important aspect which you can start with. So always break a big task, a task which takes several hours or several days or several months, into defined milestone, defined steps which you will do to proceed. Next, question one thing. Life is a question and how we live is an answer. How we phrase the questions we ask ourselves determine the answers we eventually what we call our life. Anthony Robbins clearly said the quality of our life depends on the quality of questions we ask. Ask from ourselves. You ask a question to yourself, keep asking, and the universe will help you find an answer. Leave it to your subconscious, they will get you the answer. So, hence, the question to ask is, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? It's a double duty questions both in directions as well as in action. Try to apply this question to all aspects of your life: spiritual, health, personal, key relationship, business, professional. For health, probably the one thing which you can do most important is to eat healthy. For those people who can't go to gym or cannot afford a gym or cannot afford expensive trainers, then eating healthy is the one key answer to a healthy life. And fine, in relationships we tell that even if you silence is the key to happiness. Maintain silence when you feel that things can go wrong. So what are the qualities of these questions? These questions are big but specific. Big but specific, that they look at the larger picture, they take a strategic point of view, but they are specific to the domain they are meant for. They push you, stretch you, and aim you for big specific actions. For health, what is the one important thing I can do to maintain my health, to ensure I live a healthy life? Fine. Answer is very simple. Eat healthy. Eat at the right time. Eat healthy at the right time. Don't take the dinner so late. Digestion problems can arise. So hence, once you answer that one particular thing, or your question could be, what is the one key thing I can do to become a top performer at my workplace? So instead of then you that will question will make you think of the important and urgent tasks which you do on a day-to-day basis, which you have to absolutely master. Or the answer could be certain policies or certain documents which you have to, which are like your non-negotiables. You have to master them and become an expert on them. So the key is for you to ask questions from yourself and keep asking and you'll get the answer. Benchmark and trend. Whatever you learn, you will use it to do what only the greatest achievers do: benchmark and trend. So what is that? You always benchmark yourself against the best that is there around you. You could be working in an office, you see how the who are considered the top performers, what are their work habits, what quality of work they give, what aspects of their work gets appreciated, what they get praised about, and so try to emulate their habits and the quality of their work. And as I said, success leaves clues, and success can always be emulated. You can always emulate, keep a model, have a role model for your work, have a role model for your fitness, have a role model for your spiritual life, your relationships, whatever, married life, and see what but specific things, aspects make them successful. If you start on a project and you start a work or start a new job, you search for the clues and role models to point you in the right direction. The first thing to ask is, has anyone else studied or accomplished this or something like that? The answer is almost a yes. If not near around you, then you can always search, you can always look up. YouTube, Google, all are around you, and hence you have your research, you have your models, and you have their experience. Second is purpose and productivity. As per the author, achievers allow purpose to be the guiding force in determining the priority that determines their actions. I will repeat. Achievers allow purpose to be the guiding force in determining the priority that derives their action. For example, you are achiever, your purpose is to be the top performer. That will guide you, that will help you to think clearly who are your key stakeholders, what are your key tasks which go to them, your key work or your reports that go to them, and that will make you ensure that you channelize your energies and your productivity to that those tasks. The purpose, priority, and productivity are all interrelated. The purpose will determine the priority, and the priority will determine your productivity. Hence, productivity, and purpose, priority, and productivity are all interrelated and all are interlinked in a particular circle. The more productive people are, the more purpose and more priority are pushing and driving them. So if you see a productive person around you, if you see in sports, in your work, in health, in gym, just you will know that there's a purpose behind them in their head that's pushing them to go above and beyond what they are just the bare minimum. And again, a very important quote from the book, which I'll repeat: purpose-driven productivity is critical. Again, purpose-driven productivity is critical. Once you have a purpose for your productivity, you attach emotions to your actions and you get your peak performance. Very important quote from the book. Please listen to this carefully. Who we are and where we want to go determines what we do and what we accomplish. I will repeat. Who we are, that is our identity. If your identity is that of a performer, a top performer, a person who gives quality work, and where we want to go, that's our destiny, our destination, our end goal, our objective. We think of ourselves as a key performer. Our objective is to get the best rating in the appraisal. Determines what we do, and that will determine our purpose, our priority, and what we accomplish, and how we go about doing those tasks. Concept of right now. As the author says, right now is all we have. The past is former now. The former now is past. Goal setting is the now. Future lies in stringing together powerful movements, one after the other. What you would do in any movement what determines what we experience in the next. It's all a continuum. Your present now and all the future nows are undeniably determined by the priority you live in the moment. All this means is that we are all in our present movement is a series of nows that we have, and now is the only thing that we have over here. And hence, let's just focus and keep telling ourselves and make now a mantra which we have to follow and adhere to, because it's a series of nows that are past, present, and future is made. Hyperbolic discounting. So, what is it? The further away a reward is in the future, the smaller the immediate motivation to achieve it, and hence the importance of connecting the nows, connecting the todays to all the tomorrows. Delayed gratification is a very important quality of all achievers. That is, they don't go for immediate gratification. They would not just take a Coke and have the a pleasure of having a Coke. They know that the Coke is not good for health, so they will not take it. So delayed gratification. If an experiment was conducted with marshmallows and students who delayed the eating the marshmallows to get two marshmallows instead of one in a particular controlled experiment, went to make better use of their lives compared to those who just went for immediate gratification. Hence, you have, if a delayed gratification, the patience you have to achieve your goal helps to engage in strategic thinking. You need to plan and to aim and to improve your strategy to achieve your goals. Productive action transforms life. We are always doing something, even if we are not doing anything. That means we are doing something. Not doing anything, also doing something. Sometimes things we do not, sometimes things that do not matter, don't need to be done, and let's not fix something which is not broken. Moving on to the other aspects, the other takeaways, time blocking, which again a very critical part. Use time blocking to be productive, and until that one thing is done, all the rest is, you can say, distraction. You may have, your to-do list can have like five important things to do, and then among the five important things, if you feel that task number one is most important, till task number one is not completed, then all the rest are distraction. Dis- Protect your time blocks at all cost. Do nothing and no one has the permission to distract you. You can, I have seen very senior people attaching, in their glass doors they have this particular printout attached, please, I'm busy, you can email, or when the door is closed, do not disturb, something like that, to ensure your time block is kept intact. As the author says, productive time blocking is key. Productive time blocking is key. When you block your time, then ensure you spend your time on the task you block it for. Three commitments. First of all, mastery. What does this mastery means? Mindset of anyone seeking mastery is a commitment to becoming your best. Your best. See, there are two things. Either you do the work the best, or the best it can be done. Your best or the best it can be done. So let's the achievers go for the latter, the best it can be done by upskilling their skills, by seeing how it is done in the market, and by imitating, emulating it, they achieve it. Continuously seek best ways of doing things. Don't just, best has to become better for it to remain best. Best has to remain better, or keep improving, or keep becoming better for it to remain best. Best does not rest. And hence, you have to keep evolving and ensuring your work in terms of quality, the timeliness, the information, the content, it is the best that it can be done, and keep seeking ways to innovate, to improve, to include more and more value adds in your work so that you also have your value updated. Then, willing to be held accountable. Accountability is an extremely important aspect. Taking responsibility of your work ensures that the power to improve your work and the power to change and everything remains with you. If you blame others, then you are shifting responsibility from yourself to someone else, as a result of which you feel it's out of your control, and hence you will not, or you cannot do anything. But if you feel you are responsible, you make yourself responsible. Okay, what is it that you can do, or what is it that's under your control that you can do the best? You have the power to change, and that power gives you the ability and the energy to change. E2P, a very important aspect. What is E2P? Entrepreneurship to purposeful. E2P means, are you doing this simply to do the best you do, or Are you doing this the best way it can be done? A concept which I just spoke about a while earlier. Path of mastery is a combination of not only the best you can do, but doing it the best it can be done. E is entrepreneurial, P is purposeful. Entrepreneurial is a natural approach. It is something we want to do or that needs to be done, and racing off to do it with enthusiasm and energy. It's a natural ability. However, it's not the peak of your ceiling. Purposeful, as defined by the author, is challenging your limit and reaching new ceiling level. Purposeful people pause just long enough to examine their option. They pick the best one, and then they get right back at it. They are open to new ideas and new ways of doing it. Part of mastery would challenge you to do things differently. Too many people reach a level where their performance is just good enough and then stop working on it for the better. People on part 2 mastery avoid this by continuously asking how you can do it better, how you can improve it, and continuously improving themselves, their skills. Accountability, willing to be held accountable, is also part of the three commitments, and accountability also, I speak, is being taking responsibility. It is also separately mentioned other than the three commitments just to highlight its importance. And in this, the as per the author, he says that no one is born a victim. It is simply an attitude or approach. If you do not take responsibility, you have this victim mindset which you just start exhibiting in all spheres of your life. Be it relationship, you blame the other partner, you don't take anything on your plate. Be it work, you always blame your boss or your subordinates or your colleagues, you don't take anything. So hence you have to take some part. You have to know exactly what is your role in it, and hence keep improving yourself and identify where you can make a difference. Fourth is of productivity. The author highlights the importance of focused time block, and hence the four thieves of productivity, or things that are detrimental to your productive work. Inability to say no. As I said, if you have your priorities clear, you will say no to meetings which are not needed, no to social gatherings which you feel are not adding any value, no to projects or to aspects which you believe do not work for you. And no also means no, saying no to junk food, saying no to ideas which are not contributing. When you're working, if there's any phone call you receive, saying no to it, you'll get back to it later. Fear of chaos. Fear of chaos, it just means untidiness, unrestness, disarray, disorder. You have to know that when you work on something, you will have a clutter on your desk. You clutter automatically takes up residence around us when you start working. Clutter of papers, of stationery, of books, of whatever policies, procedure, manuals. One of the greatest thieves of productivity is unwilling to allow chaos, or just say we just maintain a, see how tidy we are maintaining our our decks is clean. Your deck should be clean, but end of the day or beginning of the day, not definitely not during the day. And as the author says, if cluttered decks is a sign of cluttered mind, then what does an empty mind is a sign of? So hence, don't fear chaos. Poor health habits, I've stated many times, health is key to many aspects of your life. A healthy life leads to a healthy body, has a healthy mind, healthy relationships, healthy work culture. Everything falls into place, and hence you should be very careful of what you eat and how you eat. It can't be said enough. Environment, when the author says about environment, basically what he means is that, okay, your environment is simply who you are and what you experience in a day. You are average of the five people you hang out with. So if you are among five people who have a victim mindset, keep blaming others, gossiping about people, you are the sixth one. So hence guard your company, and your company is not just the people who hang out with, but the books you read, the podcasts you see, the videos which you see. You could, it's your up to you how and what type of videos and podcasts you want to see, and you can level up your own mindset with the mindset of the people, great people you listen to. Conclusion, As the author says, कि life is a journey, so it's a process, so uh, don't expect too much too early. Extraordinary results and going small. The power of going small means going, focusing on few important tasks to achieve extraordinary results. Survey your choices always. Our life is a set of the choices or the decision that we have made so far. So just ensure, and choices made sometimes cannot be redone, and hence ensure that the choices you make are well thought of and you have evaluated all options. Action, action, action. You may think, you may plan, you may prioritize, you may watch as many videos, but if you don't take action, then all that preparation is wasted. It is said, okay, not preparing, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. But once you have prepared, you have to take action. Lastly, two wolves. I'll repeat the very important statement from the book. It says there are two wolves inside your head, fear and faith. Two wolves inside your head, fear and faith. And whoever you feed, whoever you give confidence to, whoever you want to nurture, that one will win. So thank you. Please subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot.